what made you write your first book?
So I've been a storyteller in various capacities for the past decade. I've been an actor. I dabbled in writing, directing, producing, did all of that for a while. And I was very fascinated by the idea of creation, building, development, and I like the idea of taking the initiative rather than always waiting for something to come to you. And then the pandemic hit, and we all know how that was for all of us. It wasn't the best of times. You're just stuck at home. You're consuming excessive content. Is only input, right? You're watching, you're reading, but there was no vent. There was no creative vent at all. And that's when I just had this bizarre idea of this world that I wanted to create from all my inspirations. So I thought, you know what? Why don't I just put them all together, see where it goes, and then that's what actually gave me some kind of purpose and drive through COVID. I would wake up at 5 and sit there to write. Gave me some sense of passion. I remember even when I actually had COVID, I would pop dolos, and when you pop dolo, you have this brief window when you feel like the fever has subsided, and then I would quickly jump and write a few lines to feel a little fulfilled. Okay, aaj kuch to kaam kiya, and then and then feel terrible again. But I think that was a very exciting process, very fulfilling process, and besides that, no one was giving me 300 crores to make a film out of it, so I thought let's.
Wonderful. Hansal sir, what is the first thing that you wrote or created, and what drew you towards it, that particular subject?
Couple of things. One, I'm a lazy writer, so I usually trouble writers a lot. I make them write for me. I've written very early on in my career. I wrote some short stories, which I film. I write primarily to film, and I wrote a film called Omerta. So that nobody was willing to write, so I sort of had to write because there was a deadline. I had to submit the script in 2005, and I had no choice but to write. And the film got made in 2017. So 12 years after.
How long did it take to
write? 2 days. They wanted it in 2 days, and I lied to the producer saying the script is ready. So that was my. So writing came more out of compulsion. But otherwise, I always marvel at writing as a discipline. I'm a reader, I'm a voracious reader, and I find writing an amazing discipline. To just sit down and write those pages and to churn out, For me, writing is about having that discipline of churning out the next number of pages, day after day, day after day. I must have at least 15 incomplete scripts and books on my desktop which I carry around, which I sort of make as a retirement fund. Whenever I retire, I will finish all this. I will publish books and I will sell my scripts, but I don't see myself retiring at all.
and you shouldn't, of course, because we would be,
one more thing, the question that she asked, that what would you like to see in Bombay? More bookshops.
That's true. Round of applause for that. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think is essential. It was an amazing culture that the city, and a big part of our city's culture, bookstores. I remember when I was in school, there was a bookstore on SV Road called Wellington Bookstore. We used to go there, hang out there. All those spaces are gone. Lotus Book House, which was at Reclamation. We used to spend hours there. That's where the first set of Khana Khazana emerged from. The first set of recipes were chosen from there. They're sitting there looking at the books, and they never stopped you from sitting there and reading those books. And it's dying. We are ordering it online, reading the synopsis. I find that great progress, but also hindering the joy of experiencing books. So great that there is a bookshop in such a big space that is still alive and kicking in the city of Bombay.
Some other phenomenon
No, I don't think it was bottled up. It's just going back to the previous point. I don't think there's any sense of rebelling to that idea. So I don't know. Is there something you want to?
Hansal Bhai can add.
This particular clause I was not aware of.
Yeah, even I don't know.
I was not aware of. I made my first film 27 years ago, maybe because I haven't made films on these themes, but I was not aware of this. And yeah, I mean, I think it's come from this, I think Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, that has really given rise to this. People have realized that there's a business model that exists. It's ultimately a business. And I think that has led to this. I think everyone was fascinated. We watched our spectacles and enjoyed them since we were kids. But I think now it's come closer home. The British, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, all this has taken on popular imagination, and all of us feel that there is a franchisable, potential for all these stories, which is why the Ramayana is being made with major stars. The Mahabharata is being made. We are retelling these stories, and as I said earlier, I'm glad it's being reinterpreted, and there is a newness. We're telling the same stories.
Thank you both of you.
Start from, but first off, majorly, thank you so much, Hansal sir, for being here. Having a respected filmmaker who I admire so much to be here supporting a first-time author, I think that really means a lot. It's very, very reassuring. So thank you so much. My parents, my family who've been there with me, they've stood by me, seen it all. The best family I could ask for. NuVoice Press, Kevin Misal, Simon & Schuster, everyone for making this dream come true. Publishing a book is like the toughest thing to get done. And these guys really made it almost a walk in the park. And I think they need to be more people need to be extending this kind of support to authors. Divyan, for supporting the book and doing everything in his power to make this a success. Thank you so much, Divyan. It means a lot. And it's been a really, really long journey, and strangely I can say that it's only begun, right? And when it does get tough, I'm going to literally remember this moment when all of you turned up on a Sunday morning. Like, well done, a round of applause to you all. I have some of my colleagues here, and often at lunch we talk about how on Saturdays, Sundays we just become couch potatoes. That's all we want to do. We want to do nothing else. So, and I'm sure that's the same for all of you after a tiring week. So thank you so much. Really means a lot. And I have to say the best for the last. I kind of spoke about this a little earlier, but I think it's worth revisiting. She's been instrumental in putting this event together, and she kind of really made it her own. She's a fantastic writer, and I think that's why she really understands the struggles, the journey that a writer makes. And not to mention her ability to leave a lasting impression, maintain relationships, and see a vision come through. All of these elements have really played a major role in making this event a grand success. So please, round of applause for my fiancée. I'm a lucky man. Thank you so much. And once again, just really humbled for all of you to be here. I just want to leave you, I think, with one small thing, if I may. This has been addressed several times, but no harm in bringing it up again. As a budding artist, I think, of any kind, the world tends not to be the kindest place. Not always, but maybe more often than not, getting something started, getting something out there, I think it becomes almost demotivating, discouraging. I'm seeing a lot of artists over here, writers, filmmakers, directors. I mean, it's amazing to kind of have this support, but I think we all know that the struggle is real, right? And I think if everyone, like you have this morning, can just extend that hand of support and pick up that one book, pick up that one painting, watch that one play, I think if you show that kind of support, that slight sense of reassurance is what will help us come back to the page, or come back to the stage, or come back to the screen. That goes a long way for all of us. For all the artists, please continue doing this. And thank you so much for being here. Have a good day. Thanks so much.
For those of you who want to take whatever I am, could you tell us a little about the rise of the college?
I'd like to say that it's a cultural fusion. It's got different elements of mythology coming together. You've got elements from Western mythology, from Hindu mythology. All of this kind of fuses in together, angels, asuras, rakshasas, but all set in a modern context in a city like Mumbai. So you literally have, say, an asura and an angel conspiring to take over Mumbai, and you've got this 26-year-old copywriter who is caught or embroiled in this entire chaos. And then what unveils is what happens. So that could happen to any one of us, like how it happens in New York City. Why can't it happen in Amchi, Mumbai? That's the.
How long did it take you to write this?
I wrote the first draft. It took me about 6 to 8 months to get the first draft out, and then I just did my own thing of. It's called self-publishing, where you just put it out there and you figure out a way. And then I think about a year or so later, Kevin's company NuVoice Press came on board. They picked up the book, and now it has a new life. It's seeing a new journey. So I think end to end could be about 2 years maybe since the time I thought about it, and yeah.
What made you pick up this book?
What I really liked is how the angels and the asuras kind of came together, and there was a fusion of different myths from all over the world. And I think that is what really interested me into it, and that is why the reason I picked up. And plus, I always bet on the author more than the book. So I took a bet on Abhishek. He's a very vibrant and a very energetic guy. So yeah.
Hansal ji, it's so nice to see you here. For a realistic filmmaker, this is a work of fiction. So tell us what excited you about coming here and supporting us.
The work that we do is all born out of fantasy, and we look at mythology as a way to sort of expand our universe, our mental universe, our imagination. And I'm glad that this writing is being done by younger writers, that they're embracing this form, that storytellers like us can sort of aspire to make a fantasy which is not necessarily steeped in the past, a fantasy that is steeped into that merges the past, the future and the present. So yeah, I mean it's amazing. Abhishek is a talented writer, and just to be here to support him in this endeavor, I think it's my honor.
Sir, any chance Rise of the Fallen will be made into a OTT show or a film by Hansal Mehta?
I'm always hopeful that good work finds a larger audience, and that this book finds an audience that is visual. Particularly myths have great visual potential. So I hope that this gets made, and I've already put my hands up for the rights. So yeah, hopefully we are able to make this happen.
The $1,000,000 question: which role do you envisage yourself playing? Because you write stories like screenplays.
For me, when I started writing off this book, I tried to stay as close to home as possible. So you start with the lived-in experiences, right? So you can write honestly, you can really feed off those instead of writing about a character that you don't really know about. So I think I'll have to say it'll have to be the central character, because a lot of the things, the way he leads his life, the way he makes his journey, was inspired from the thing that I went through, right? It's just easier when it comes across as more honest, I feel. So definitely the character.
Being an author is one thing, supporting authors is another. How do you manage both the roles?
I don't. It's very hard, but I try my very best to actually be there for all the writers. I know how tough it is to be a writer out there. I know how lonely the job is, and I think if Abhishek has friends like me and I have friends like Abhishek and Hansal sir as well, we all are supporting writers out there, and yeah, so I think that's great. That's how it should be.
Any last words, Abhishek?
Buy the book. Please buy the book. And please let me know what you think. I'm really eager to know that. Good, bad, ugly, whatever your thoughts, please let me know. And of course, like the way Hansal sir showed up and supported, please go out there, support first-time authors, playwrights, screenwriters, actors. Please just show your support, and whatever you do, little will go a long way for them.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.